Hello, everyone. Can we start making our ways to the chairs, please? The second half, the presentations are going to start soon. The front row, can we please have presenters go first, and then if there's extra chairs. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Uh, uh, Hello, everyone. We'd appreciate if everybody's sitting down by now. Okay, first, we would appreciate if you can turn off your alarms or anything that could interrupt this. So we'll give you a minute for that.
Also, just to let you know that there is Wi-Fi available. Oh, there is no Wi-Fi available.
Disconnect from the Wi-Fi.
Please do switch on all notifications and make sure that your phones are on silent. Thank you.
Okay, seems that everybody's ready. Perfect. So here we are again. New family, new place, big Oiva boy. Even alumni Kiana and Ken decided to join us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first showcase for 2024. I'm Tiamo from South Africa,
And I am Yoser from the famous Guadalajara.
and we will be your MCs for today. Just to acknowledge the fact that we are on Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh Nation lands, we'd like to acknowledge this fact as a way to show our appreciation to our respected community members who have come before us.
What started as a cold city became a cold place in our hearts. The arrival of the new students and ROP taught us that learning does not need to happen in a classroom. As a matter of fact, life is learning itself. And right now, we'll be accompanying you in our life journeys. Please get in touch with us.
We kicked off our first term in Vancouver in British Columbia, which is known for its stunning natural beauty, as well as its aim to push for Indigenous culture to be recognized and seen and heard. So without further ado, let's begin. We'll be starting off with our module presentations, which are essentially our education focus groups that we create our projects during our host countries. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Eitan and Sandy, who will be presenting Module 1, Beyond Existing.
Check, check. What's up, people? Good evening, everybody. My name is Eitan Lior Gobi, and I'm Israeli American and a grade 11 student here at TGS. Tonight, I will be joined by...
I hope everyone is doing well. Hi, my name is Sandy Teplert-Bun, and I'm also in grade 11, and I'm from Thailand. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, Eitan and I would like to pitch to you an idea for a module called Beyond Existing.
We're thrilled to propose a new transformative PBL experience that will focus on Indigenous and NGO development here in Canada, during which the students will have the opportunity to be guided to answer the following question. How can we apply our learning of Indigenous environmental advocacy in Canada to create a sustainable NGO in our home country? In this module, we aim to equip students with the skills, passion, and knowledge to create meaningful change in their home countries.
Our module, Beyond Existing, aims to provide students with an immersive learning experience filled with workshops, guest speakers, and real-world application to guide students in a rewarding and memorable learning journey.
Your journey will start at home. Oh, wait. What? 1 second. Okay, there you go. Sorry. Your journey will start at home. A week before term, students will begin to build a base of knowledge that will cover topics such as histories, social narratives that affect Indigenous people today in Canada, an overview on culture and traditions, and advocacy through NGOs. Online learning will culminate in a mini NGO pitch practice that will familiarize students with the proposal kickstart stage behind starting an NGO.
In the first week of Beyond Existing, students will deepen their knowledge on Indigenous perspectives through investigating local Indigenous history, culture, and issues that Indigenous communities face here in Canada. This process of learning will help students develop the ability to become more compassionate, understanding, and innovative global citizens who can initiate change wherever they go.
During week 2, students will take their learning journey outside of the classroom as they travel to Bowen Island, a small island in the Vancouver Inlet. In Bowen Island, students will have the opportunity to meet with Simon James, a renowned Indigenous artist and storyteller. Simon James is also the co-creator of a TV show called Raven Tales. Raven Tales is an award-winning TV show that depicts storytelling, Indigenous storytelling, to young audiences across the globe. With Simon, learners will have the opportunity to come eye to eye with an integral artistic and cultural practice of totem pole carving. Excuse me. Next, students will take a tour in the Chinatown Storytelling Center, where they will explore the relationship between government and NGOs. Here, students will delve into the various roles that the federal, municipal, and provincial governments have in regards to providing funding for NGOs.
The third week of Beyond Existing incorporates an NGO workshop led by Chloe Frazier, a young, innovative leader who is an environmental advocate. She has a lot of experience working with different NGOs in Vancouver, and she comes from a communication and marketing background. She's also a TGS alumna. In this workshop, students will develop a theory of change, and they will learn to create an impactful mission and vision statement. They will also learn the art behind issue framing, which is a core concept in developing an NGO.
As students near their final product, they will have 2 opportunities to meet with 2 women, named Carlene Thomas on the right and Manvi Bala on the left. First off, students will meet with Carlene, who is an Indigenous woman who acts as a chancellor and council member for the Tsleil-Waututh Nation here in BC. With Carlene, learners will get to listen to her powerful stories and immerse themselves in her wisdom and heritage. Next, with Manvi, who's an experienced NGO initiator and changemaker, they will have their experience to further develop their NGOs by learning how to network and gain recognition. Manvi's experiences will give students with valuable insights into how to run an NGO in the short and long term.
In the final week, students will participate in a summative charity ball event where they will have to pitch their NGOs to a panel of guests with the motive to secure financial and vocal support. This marks their journey, their learning journey as a student, but it is also a final test to see how they can apply what they learned in the module to communicate and express their ideas.
Okay, how sick is this? This module sounds amazing, right? Where else can you get a learning experience at the crossroads of entrepreneurship and Indigenous advocacy? Or a learning experience that encourages you to be a critical thinker and a problem solver? May I please have a raise of hands from the audience who would want to see our module come to life so students can be able to experience it in all of its bliss? Woo! Yeah, that's what I like to see.
Thank you for the support, and I know that tonight me and Eitan have been pitching to you this Beyond Existing as an idea, but what if I told you it wasn't an idea, but it was actually a reality? So we've all been kind of fooling you a bit, but Beyond Existing actually happened. And so Eitan and I and all the other students who participated were really fortunate enough to have been able to be part of Beyond Existing. And we wanted to pitch to you Beyond Existing because we wanted to apply the pitching skills that we learned in the module. So we would like to give a big shout out to our educators, Kelsey and Sophie, for leading this module, and all the other students who participated.
For me, I absolutely love this module. I could not have asked for a better first PBL experience here at TGS. I was able to stay curious and informed and passionate throughout the entire learning process. And for me, at the end of the day, that's what I feel is most important.
Personally, not only did I gain academic knowledge within this module, but I was able to also learn more about the history and the culture of Canada, which is the place that we've been staying in for the past 7 weeks. And I also got to learn more about the issues in my own home country, which I plan to address once I go back. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Have a good night.
so much, Aton and Sandy, for presenting our NGO module.
Beyond existing sounds deep, doesn't it? Well, at TGS we are deep. We research. We make NGOs for the greater community.
Next up, we'll be focusing on the community as a whole as a way to dedicate our time to give back and raise awareness to different issues through service learning.
We think local, but we also think global. Please, let's give a very big round of applause to my favorite cake maker, Maya.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maya, and I'm going to be showing you my service project called, well, it's not an awesome title, but emergency boxes, especially in the area, the township of Georgian Bay, which is a place in Ontario, Canada, where's where I'm from. So first of all, what is service, and what is service to me? True service is focusing on the now, what's going on in your home place, and how can I fix the community or the well-being of the community as much as possible, but not for me or to help me or for my personal gain, but for the entire community, and to truly fix a problem, not just work, help out, and volunteer, but to truly change the system that we're working with. So this is the township of Georgian Bay. It is a very large area. This is not all of Ontario, but it is a part of Ontario. And right there, that little lake is the one I live on. I have a cottage, and it's very lovely. However, we have a problem. Our problem is that we are quite far away from all hospitals and first responders. So if I have a heart attack or a stroke or go into anaphylactic shock or, God forbid, have a drug overdose, I can't get to a hospital in time. And hospitals and first responders can't come to me. The nearest hospital is an hour away, driving from my house. And emergency outcomes and at times are incredibly affected by this location, which is kind of part of the charm of the place that you're so far from everyone. But then again, you're so far from everyone. So here's my driving question. How can I address the lack of emergency equipment in the township of Georgian Bay? So without a solution, we have what we have now, which is increased risk of fatalities, prolonged suffering from injuries, and higher long-term health cares. But what happens with the solution? We get rapid emergency response times. We get increased survival rates from heart attacks, allergic reactions, drug overdoses, snake bites. We get prevention of severe long-term health issues, and minimal first responder needs. So those first responders can go help fight fires, because our first responders are also our firefighters. So this is our solution. Our solution is to introduce an emergency box equipped with an AED, which is a defibrillator, as well as some other first aid needs. This is an EpiPen, Naxalone for drug overdoses, snake bite kits, and other bandages. The total cost is a lot, but don't be, alarmed by this number, which is around $3,000 per unit. We are working with the government and hopefully getting subsidies from different associations to really bring that cost together, because it is expensive to make a change. We want to have strategic planning and strategic placement for accessibility. So we have decided on a baseball diamond across from the public landing on Gibson Lake. So all road access cottages and water access cottages can access this in around 5 minutes. So what have I done so far? Because now it's just talking. I have, at the moment, presented a motion that I have written to the Council of Georgian Bay. This is hopefully and gladly passed the first round, and they have loved the idea. So at the moment, it is with staff deliberating, and hopefully in the next couple months, I can get this box up and running for the new summer of 2025. But there's still obviously lots to do. So what's left to do? We had to change the bylaws because at the moment if I just make one box, what does that mean? What does that matter? Sure, I can save a couple hundred lives, but what if I could save all the lives all over the township? As many as possible. So we want to change the physical bylaws. We want to change it so each lake can get a box, and if a lake is like, hey, I want a fire pump in case there's fires, or hey, I want a defibrillator for my lake, or a couple, we can change that and they can get it as quick as possible instead of going through month-long processes, or in my case, I started this in last year around this time. So, the second thing that we have to do is get a physical box, because at the moment, it's just talk. I've got the idea, I've got the motion, I've got the money, but we need to actually get the box. And before that, nothing happens. And finally, the most important part is not the box itself or changing the bylaws so more boxes can happen. We need to actually educate people and have awareness of this box. Because without awareness and without education, the box does nothing, it sits there. The box isn't gonna actually go and administer epinephrine. The person has to be aware of the project and has to know how to use it. So those are our 3 steps at the moment. And our hopes for the future are to really get boxes all around the township, as well as hopefully all of Ontario, and really bring the awareness of emergency response around the world. Because Canada is not the only place that has cottages or houses out in the wilderness, and people can get a heart attack in the middle of the Sahara Desert. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Maya, for presenting your service learning project.
I knew you were a cake maker, not a change maker.
Next up, we'll be looking at a module that focuses on social challenges. Let's give it up for Zach and Agnes, who will be presenting their module, Roof Right.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Module 2 presentation for roof rides. My name is Zach Hale. I'm from Australia, and I'm in grade 11.
My name is Agnes, and I'm from Taiwan in the US, and I'm from grade 11 as well. Oh, sorry. It's not working.
This project started with one core driving question. How can we understand the impact of equity and Canadian policies on Vancouver's homeless population in order to propose new policies? Essentially, we wanted to explore a variety of different approaches to offer solutions to Vancouver's housing and homelessness crisis. This would be presented in our summatives as a policy proposal. Our team spent time conducting in-depth research, visiting key sites, and discussing with experts to develop informed solutions to this critical issue.
So what exactly is the problem? The main focus of our module was on the homeless population and community of Vancouver. We focused on exploring the statistics of the homeless population as well as what we can do to help. So our main excursion was to go to Chinatown, the Chinatown Foundation in East 18th Street that focuses on getting the homeless people off the streets and into homes, as well as refurbishing Chinatown to make it more welcoming.
As part of our project, we went to Deep Cove to experience Vancouver's livability. It was an eye-opening experience as it showed us the contrast between different regions of Vancouver. While some areas were struggling, the others are affluent with accessibility, affordable housing, and services. We learned that livability isn't just about the physical environment, but also inclusivity and access to resources, which many of Vancouver's unhoused populations still lack.
Throughout the module, we had a few different guest speakers, such as the first one, which was Dominic Streeter, who filmed and directed a documentary called $10 Death Trip that focused on drug abuse in Vancouver and how that affects homeless people. The second guest speaker we had was Travis Lupik, who wrote this book called Fighting for Space that focused on a safe injection site called Insight. The third guest speaker we had was Jiaying Zhao, who ran the New Leaf project from a psychologist perspective that focused on increasing money given to homeless people in one period of time instead of over multiple increments so that they could get into houses quicker.
In order to properly create policies, we had to learn how to do research and the process of this. This included how to craft our own research questions. This is what Andy Jenkinson taught us.
So what was the purpose of all of this? Our purpose was to create a policy that would help homeless people to help them get more resources and more mental health solutions and stuff like that. So Maya and I's policy was focused on community centers and increasing funding and resources given to those community centers because they benefit the mental health of homeless people.
Chloe, Max, and I proposed mandated therapy and rehabilitation programs in exchange for the use of harm reduction and injection sites. Nora, Yosef, and Kenzo focused on exercise and physical well-being, and Oliver, Satnam, and Kenzo Wei altered the rental assistance program.
So special props to our module peers for their projects. These are the names and everything. Okay, so special thank you to Adam and Shasta for being our module leads. We learned a lot throughout the process about homeless populations and also how to write policies. And I really love the module in general.
Thank you so much, Zach and Agnes, for showcasing roof rights.
Well, we have a lot of P's at TGS, project-based learning, place-based learning. Now we are going to talk a little bit about personal learning, what makes TGS so special. Next up, a masterpiece of mastery project, Shangri-La.
Hi everyone, my name is Shangri-La and I'm a grade 11 student here at TGS. And today I'll be presenting to you my mastery project, Everywhere and Nowhere. To give you a bit of a context, mastery projects here at TGS is a year-long project that's interest-driven, and it usually starts at the start of every school year. So as this is the beginning term of the school year, my mastery project was actually launched not too long ago. So today I'm going to be talking to you a bit about the initial stage of my project. Okay, so to start with, I really love cetaceans. Cetaceans are basically a collective name of dolphins, whales, and porpoises. And I have to say that from a very young age, those have been my favorite species of animals. Something else I really also like is animal behavior. So, as a lot of you probably know, cetaceans are incredibly smart species. And because of that, there's actually a lot of intersections between marine mammal study and behavioral science. There are some examples on the screen here. Would anyone like to guess what's on the left side of the screen? Yes, Oliver? Correct. So here on the left side, we have orcas, pictures of orcas, but they're not just that. Those are photo IDs of orcas. You can see that there's their dorsal fin and the eye patches. Those are the unique part of orca whales. They're like human fingerprints. They help scientists identify the individuals within an orca population and track them down to monitor their behavior. And then on the right side here, we have an image of collective locational data that helps scientists to monitor whale movements and the dynamics of pods in general in the region. So, as you can probably already tell, There's a lot to look into in the field of marine mammal study, behavioral. But this is actually quite a relatively new study, a field of study, because in the past years, we have not gotten a lot of chance to collect those observation data because most cetaceans spend the majority of their life underwater, and we can only see them when they come up to the surface to breathe, and that usually doesn't take too long. But recently, as more GPS and locational tracking data technologies are developed, it's easier and easier for scientists to be able to locate those groups of animals and actually get a chance to encounter them and observe them and to get that data. Additionally, some new technologies and methods have been developed in this field, such as the aerial observation. So when we're talking about aerial observation, we mean that we send out a drone to film right above those orca pods. So not only that we can see them even when they're under the water surface, but also we can get a more wide view of how each individual interacts with one another in a pod. And something else I'd also like to mention regarding marine mammal behavior is commercial whale watching industry. So right now, commercial whale watching is one of the only ways we can actually get in touch with the species out on the sea. And this is a very crucial factor for human and whale interaction. However, there's actually not been a lot of studies done on the matter that how commercial whale watching have been influencing marine mammal behavior, either directly or indirectly, which is why I wanted to plan out a research-oriented project specifically on this subject of study. So while I was investigating some further information on commercial whale watching and its relationship with marine mammal behavior, here are some interesting things that I found out. So first of all, the policy in the area. So here in Vancouver, the ocean that's closest to us is called the Sailor Sea. And regarding the Sailor Sea orcas, local government has a really strict policies on how vessels are supposed to behave when they see an orca. So whenever there is an orca whale within 1 kilometer of distance, vessels are supposed to slow down and also turn off their engine and not supposed to further approach the orca whales. They're also supposed to raise that British Columbia whale warning flag to let other people know that there's a whale in the area. However, an existing problem with that is that there's a big variance in the compliance of vessels for people who encounter the whales actually. And a great model of such compliance actually is the commercial whale watching companies. So research have been showing that commercial whale watching are actively reducing vessel incidents in the vicinity of whales by demonstrating a sentinel effect to positively influence privately owned vessels. And in the past, humans have always perceived human and whale interactions in a negative way. However, I think studies like this shows that there could be the positive side of things, and through this mastery project, I would like to look for information on both sides and get a holistic view of the subject matter. Something else that I was also inspired to focus on during this mastery project is different communicative strategies on transmitting scientific information. So during my last year here at TGS, one thing that I learned about is that communicating science doesn't always have to be a research paper. There's hundreds of millions of times that I got really inspired of guest speaker coming over to talk to us about natural stewardship, and even more so when I visit museums or wildlife sites that I get really encouraged and urged to learn more about the planet that we live on. Which is why I'm really wanting to experiment with different mediums of communication and see how that targets different audiences, audience group, while I'm transmitting that scientific study. So after all that thought process, I finally was able to develop my driving question for this mastery project. How can I communicate the result of my own study into the impact of commercial whale watching on marine mammals to a scientific/non-scientific audience? My driving question is broken into 2 parts. One part focusing on more on the marine mammal behavior side, and the other part focusing on that scientific communication method. So, now that I finally launched my mastery project, what is it that I could actually do? So in this past term, I've been trying to enhance my background knowledge on marine mammal behaviors and study, and I've been reading a lot of research papers to attempt to enhance my knowledge, and also taking some courses from the local research institutions. I've also gotten a really amazing opportunity to go on this whale watching trip here in Vancouver and to get some of that firsthand experience. And as for the communication part of my mastery, I've been taking a lot of courses on communicative strategy. And also right now, I would like to make you all a part of my learning process. And if you have any feedbacks, feel free to talk to me after the presentation. And I would like to tell you a short little anecdote from my whale watching trip 3 weeks ago. So this is geometry. It is a humpback whale that we happened to see during our last whale watching trip. And as a lot of you may already know, humpback whales are migratory species. They bob between feeding grounds and breeding grounds every year. And here you can see that geometry here actually goes all the way down to Maui every year and then swim all the way back up to Vancouver. The northernmost that it got to is the northern half of Vancouver Island. And that's really cool. Like, see how long it has to travel every year. It has to make such a long trip. And you might be wondering that, where does this large span of distance locational data come from? Well, I can tell you that those data come from a citizen science program called Happy Whales. And this program allows people to upload encountering pictures onto a website and collect a tremendously large data set. And this program is actually currently very much promoted by local commercial whale watching companies. And by getting more and more people involved into this project, observation could happen practically at everywhere and any time. Programs like this not only makes people more passionate about learning marine biology, but also opens up the boundaries for scientific research, allowing everyone to have the power of science in their hands. And I guess that's also the goal of my mastery. By doing this mastery, I would not only like to learn more about the subject that I'm interested in, but also encourage people to love the species that I love. And that is a glance of my mastery project. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to have a wonderful evening at Vancouver Showcase. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shangri-La, for presenting your mastery project. Now we move on to our final module presentation for the night, a module where natural disasters and AI cross-link and intertwine. Let's give it up for Chema and Huxley, who are presenting their module, QuakeQuest.
Buenas tardes.
And good evening.
I'm Chema from Mexico, and I'm on grade 11.
I'm Huxley, I'm from the UK, and I'm in grade 11 as well.
And we're honored to present to you the Model 3 of Canada term, QuakeQuests.
Did you know that there are over 3,000 earthquakes every year in Vancouver?
In fact, there have been 14 earthquakes while we have been in Vancouver.
Because of this, our module has focused on answering the following question. Here we go. How can we improve earthquake preparedness in Vancouver through collaboration and innovation?
We learned that Vancouver is decades overdue for a major earthquake, so preparing now is crucial for saving lives in the future.
To understand the magnitude of this problem, we've done quite a lot this term.
We had a total of 10 guest speakers that made our module really, really special, giving us powerful lectures that provided us with much needed information for this module.
We learned about First Nation stories of thunderbird and whale from coal thrush that help to explain why earthquakes happen.
And we learned about how those stories were kept intact from generation to generation.
Of which we created some short stories that interpret these amazing.
As well as the sorry, as well as the significance of those verbal records to groundbreaking research on earthquakes.
Combining multiple disciplines to enhance our records of earthquakes in the British Columbia region by dating and including these accounts, it enables us to find long-term patterns.
We were taught to drop, cover, and hold on by Christine Bodkas, Executive Director of the BC Earthquake Alliance.
She taught us what it takes to prepare for an earthquake and the effect that it has on success rate.
She helped us understand that having preparedness kits and plans are crucial to being successful.
As well as an amazing opportunity to be inspired by some of the cutest first responders I've ever seen. Brad Pattison and Lexi Bargan taught us the role dogs play in first response.
And how you can teach your dog to find you in the case of an emergency, by simply playing hide and seek.
He also provided us with insight into the harsh realities of these disasters, from his many years of experience in the field, and really put into perspective the damage that these can cause on a human level.
We learned that AI in disaster response means machine learning, where computers are taught how to identify damage using images.
Two PhD students, Fei Yang and Samil Aslam, told us about AI, what AI is on a basic level, discussing how we can interpret and generate results.
And how AI is being used on the cutting edge of in combination with SAR satellites to record the shift in ground level after an earthquake to help first responders better deal with the aftermath.
We also learned how ethics can be programmed into an AI, as well as how AI is currently included in real-world solutions, thanks to Professor Nanabathi.
We were also lucky enough to go on some fantastic experiences, such as our Sea to Sky tour, where John McClake took us through the Howe Sound area to several notable landmarks,
such as Harvey Creek Bridge, Britannia Beach, Viewpoint of Squamish, and Mount Garibaldi.
Here we learned that the geology behind the earthquakes, such as what tectonic plates are and how different geologic surfaces affect Vancouver.
We had a fantastic trip to the Museum of Anthropology, where we learned from the National Youth Program some amazing stories of First Nations here in British Columbia.
Giving us background and faces to the incredible exhibits there.
On that same trip, we learned about the seismic upgrading of that building, as well as the investment that goes into making invisible upgrades.
And the impact of earthquake recovery on Nepal, and the effect of reconstructive legislation on culture from two excellent speakers, Sarah and Fuyubi.
When studying earthquakes, there are many statistics: magnitude, casualties, wounded, damages, etc. And to make use of these statistics, we incorporated probability into this module.
And we made seismographs that we used to collect data, teaching us techniques to measure spread, averages, and more.
We collected all of this learning into our two summative assessments.
Our math summative gave us the chance to show our creativity by designing and building a tabletop game that incorporated what we had learned about earthquakes and used what we had learned about probabilities to create tailored instructions.
Such as hungry earthquakes and shakes and shambles.
Finally, we were able to take what we have understood from all our guest speakers and use it to create an AI proposal addressing some human impacts of earthquakes, preparedness, response, and recovery.
Including disaster management and AI, and earthquake preparedness.
That's it, right?
No.
No?
Thank you.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Thank you so much for listening. We'd just like to quickly thank our module leads, Francesca and Sila. Are you? There you go. Sila's back. Francesca's over there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, guys. You're amazing.
Wow, Chairman Huxley. Those presentations were earth-shattering. I think right now we all feel very grounded. Next, we would like to present Andy Wood to the stage. A big round of applause.
Well, parents, friends, family, visitors, thank you so much for coming to join us this evening. Your presence here has really just added so much to the event. At the heart of education is a simple question: what did you learn? And what we've learned here this evening is that students at one level have learned about marine science or geology or housing policy or geometry, statistics, probability. But on another level, they've learned how to design a really good driving question, to put together a project proposal, to collaborate, to go out and research. And those are skills that are going to prepare them for success in the world of university and beyond. They've learned how to work with people, and that not all projects succeed the first time. There are a whole lot of soft skills they've learned along the way, as well as those hard academic concepts. We're a traveling high school, and we've learned in Canada, about Canada, from Canada. You know, we've paddled down the Yukon together. We've been up to the beautiful mountains of British Columbia, close by. We've engaged with some of the really tough realities of the situation that Vancouver faces as a city. It's been extraordinary learning. And we've learned that different people have different perspectives, that there's no one simple solution. And Joanne McPike, speaking to us right at the beginning of the term, was sharing her vision of Think Global School as a school where we'd learn that there are different perspectives and different points of view. That we'd have a sense of wonder learning about the world in which we live. And as we travel through different countries and cultures and continents, that we'd be able to learn so much about each other. And not only looking outwards, but looking inwards. You've just seen so many nationalities come up on the stage here today, with so many accents. It's been an extraordinary learning experience. And that's what a TGS education is about, a sense of wonder, a sense of awe. I want to thank all the educators who've put these modules together, who've labored and journeyed and encouraged and with a bit of stick and a bit of carrot have guided our students through their learning experiences. I want to thank parents for your support for the school. I do want to thank Matt Rogers, who organizes Showcase each year, and there's an enormous amount of planning and prep that goes into it. So Matt, thank you so much. And then here together this evening, I do just want to say a fond farewell to Andy Jenkinson, who's leaving us at the end of this term. He's walked a long road with Think Global School, 5 years in year time, but I think Global years are a bit like dog or cat years. It's probably more like 35 years. But anyhow, thank you so much for all that you've done for our school as IB Diploma Coordinator, as Interim Principal, as Dean of Students, as Project Mentor, as a language, academic writing teacher, and your just wonderful, gentle, warm sense of humor that you brought to all your classes and to all your students. So thank you so much. And bon voyage. And finally to our students, thank you for just the great humor, wonderful energy, the joy and exuberance that you bring to our school. I'm just so proud of seeing the quality of these presentations this evening. You've just done us so proud, and just well done. Thank you, and yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you so much for watching, whether you are here with us right now or remotely online on our YouTube. Just a quick browse on the screen. So basically, this QR code allows you all to give us feedback on our exhibition as well as our booth. We'd really appreciate it because for some of us, it's our first time doing something like this, and we'd really appreciate your constructive criticism about our projects.
Thank you, staff. Thank you, students. Thank you to our matriarch, Joanne McPike. Please, let's give a last round of applause for the Think Global School class in Vancouver 2024. You will also be able to find some QR codes around the room. So go around, give us feedback, tell us what you think. Thank you very much.
Thank you.